What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Alestin Mandela from East of Africa, Kenya, and it's yet a bright, new day here in Africa. And I thought, guys, I should show you, my home, because yesterday when I made my first video, I introduced myself saying that I am from the border of Kenya and Uganda, and I decided, to finally come back home after 9 years of being in the city of Nairobi, and just so I can explore and show you content from the village and share you the experience from the African side. So welcome to this video. Here is my home. This is our gate, the main entrance to our compound. But, this is my father's land, this is not my land. This is where I was born, this is where I was brought up, and, this is where I call home. So come with me, guys, as I take you inside, as I show you, what this home has to offer, as I take you through, some of my childhood memories from this home, and just get to show you, where I come from. So yeah, let's go, guys. And, let me just switch the camera so that I can give you a better view. This is it. Come with me, come with me. This here is the main entrance of our home. As you can see, guys, yeah, that is the main gate over there. That is our main gate. And, as you just come inside, you find this pathway that leads, to our main house, that is my parents' house. So yeah, this is the compound that, guys, this is the compound that, I, usually spend, most of my childhood here because, I was more of an, introvert. Let me say that back in the days, I used to spend much time, here at home. So this is the compound that, I have played, for the better part of my life. I was brought up here and, guys, let me just show you around. I don't know really where to start from. Should I start with let me start with this side of the farm, the camera, guys. So growing up, sorry, guys, I'm being choked by something. So guys, growing up, this is where we used to plant, our maize, our crops, this is where we used to call, our main farm. And right now you can see, my mom decided to grow some bananas and, she decided to turn it into a kitchen garden because right here in front of me, I can see some of the indigenous, vegetables that she has planted over here. And let me just take a closer look of maybe something she has planted that I might know. I think this here is what we call kunde. Kunde, I'm not sure how it's called in English, but yeah, it's one of the indigenous, vegetables that we eat here in Africa. Yeah, you can see she has planted some of that. And, I don't know if this is maize, but yeah, it looks like maize. She has also planted a section of maize. And, there are still more indigenous, vegetables over here. I'm not sure how these ones are called, guys. If you know, maybe you can share with us in the comment section because I'm not sure how they are called. These are some of the food that, we were brought up with. These are some of the food that, we have ate on our childhood and, they made us reach where we are right now. So just seeing my parents, still embracing this, way of life, such an amazing, it brings back, some of the childhood memories that I have over here. And, just growing up in this home, I have done so much. So let's continue our tour. Let me keep you, updating you about this. So right, along the fence, I see she also decided to plant some bananas because she has the whole, she has the whole farm, rotated with bananas. I think that is one of her favorite meals right now because according to how many bananas, she has planted over here, it means she enjoys, bananas so much. So guys, yeah, these are bananas. This is, how we grow them here in Africa. And yeah, over here, I think she has planted also, some, I think this is also a type of, an indigenous vegetable, but I'm not sure which one is it. But, it needs to be weeded. I think I should weed it, even tomorrow because I can see there are so much weeds, growing around it, and that is not good because it needs, to get all the nutrients it needs to grow up. So yeah, this is what we used to call, our main farm. This is why, we planted maize growing up, the maize that we always ate at this home. At some point, we could, plant groundnuts. And, those are just some of the things that I remember, my parents planting mostly from this farm. Back then, it was so big all the way, to the new house that is being built over there. But we'll get to that later. But, right now you can see the compound is getting, smaller and smaller because there are still more buildings coming up each and every time. So let me just at least show you how these bananas look like so you can get, a clear picture. Yeah, you can see those are bananas right there. I'm not sure if you call them bananas or plantain from where you're watching us from, but yeah, here in Kenya, East of Africa, we call them bananas. And, we have quite a number of them over here. It's like they're being planted everywhere, everywhere. You can see this one. In a few weeks, it will be ready, There are so much bananas over here, guys. I don't know why she decided, to go full scale on these bananas. Yeah, but this is another banana, as you can see, guys. And I think there are still more, indigenous vegetables over here that, need some serious weeding. Yeah, I can see that's the problem with this kitchen garden, you know. And these are the things that, made me even come home in the first place, because when, this home doesn't have someone like, a man around, some things can't be done. That's why, me just deciding to come back home is something that, was so much necessary. So let's continue with our tour, guys. I'm going to be this amazing compound of ours, just showing you where, Alestin, your content creator, was brought up from. And if you're joining our channel right now, guys, this is Celestine Mandela, a content creator from Kenya, East of Africa, from a village in a border town between Kenya and Uganda, a small town called Busia. And, I'm coming live from there, showing you guys how amazing our home is, because, this is my second video in YouTube. And yesterday I promised you that, today I'll be taking you around, our compound, so that, you can get a clear view of where it all started from. So come along with me, guys. And as I take you through this journey, guys, I want you to learn, something, because from, I believe, from just seeing where someone was brought up, you can already tell so much about, them, or, the kind of character that they might have. So come along, guys, explore this amazing home of ours. And yeah, the farm used to go all the way up to that last, mango tree over there. But right now, the whole place is just left like that, even grass is already growing up and all that. But yeah, it needs, maybe to be turned into a serious kitchen garden. If that's what, my mom wants, we can turn it into a serious kitchen garden, and even maybe fence it, to prevent, chicken and things, going and messing up with the food. So we shall see what we shall do with this place. But for now, this is what we call a farm, because the bigger portion of it, it's like they decided, for it to be part of the compound. So this is what we are left with for now. But, we used to have all this space right up to this, these flowers, just as they have matched up. This was the boundary between our, farm and the main compound. But, right now, you can see a huge part of it is already part of the compound. And, this is the only piece left as the farm, as you can see. So yeah, come along with me, guys, as I take you, around this compound, as I show you, some of, the things I used to do here growing up, some of the games I used to play here. It's just some great, amazing memory. And, just, next to the gate over here, if I can remember correctly, this used to be our dumping site. This is where we used to, to dump all the trash from the main house. We had like a pit here that we used to dump it. But now you can see there are still more bananas over here. Yeah, I'm sure, right now bananas, that famous over here, because, just seeing how much they have grown it here home means that they must have loved it. So one moment, let me close the gate so we can continue, taking this journey together. If you're joining us, guys, my name is Celestin Mandela. I'm a YouTuber from Kenya, east of Africa, and I'm coming live, from my home in Kenya, at the border of Kenya and Uganda, in a town called Busia. And, this is my second video on YouTube, and I wanted, to take you along so that you can explore the journey. You can get to see, get to know me better, because I shall be bringing you each and every day an amazing content, for you to enjoy, for you, to get educated and also to get inspired. So this is the main pathway to our home. Growing up, these flowers, I don't remember even them growing bigger than this, because since I was a child, they have always maintained this same height. But not that they don't grow, it's because, they are trimmed whenever they reach a certain level. That's why they have maintained the same height, growing up till now. It's still the same height. And on this other side, I can see they're planting more of them. They want, a kind of, uniform pattern maybe for the pathway. And just walking straight, this is the main path that leads to my parents' house, the house right ahead. That is my parents' house. And that's the house where I was brought up. That's the house where I've lived, for almost 18 years of my life. I have lived in that house. And I can say that, I'm so grateful, coming in Africa, coming from, having such a beautiful place to call home. Sometimes, we don't take it for granted, because, many people here don't even have a place to call home. So having such a beautiful home, in Kenya, in Africa, and, just getting to experience some cool breeze. You can sit, under these mangoes and even have a cup of tea. You can just relax. There's so much shade. There's so much, trees in the compound. This is something that, most people don't consider it, that important. But to me, this is something that means a lot, because I like this, free space. I like this freedom, just exploring nature, hanging out, at a peaceful place, having such a good peace of mind. This is something that, I always adore so much. So guys, let's always here. I've just sent banana over there. Let me show you that banana, guys. It is so big. I don't understand how it grew that big, guys. Let me show it to you. Wow. I've never seen these bananas produce such big. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Can you see that? Such a big banana, guys. Oh, and there's another one over here. Can you see that? Oh, this home is so much blessed, guys. So much bananas each corner. So much bananas, guys. And I can see right here, guys, is the new pit latrine. Sorry, it's the new dustbin pit, where, they now throw all the trash from the compound after sweeping some of the things that, they have used from the house. This is where they are thrown and, burnt later on. So yeah, I can see this is the new, the new place for doing that. Yeah, come along with me, guys. So you can see, I was telling you, back in the days, our farm used to come, all the way from the gate over there, so you can see, up to here. This mango, as just those flowers have aligned, that is how, it used to be. And then here it goes straight, but now it's blocked by a new house. So all this, all this used to be, part of the farm. Even this new house, it was built on part of the farm. So that's how huge, the farm was. And, it used to sustain us, because, most of our maize, because, here in Africa, like most, common food that we eat here is ugali. And mostly ugali, comes from flour after, maize has been, processed, it becomes flour, and that is what we cook, and that's what many homes, survive here on a daily basis. So most people, whenever they have a piece of land called farm, they always, prioritize, planting maize, especially in this part of Kenya, because this is the western, region of Kenya, and it's famously known, for farming, especially maize farming. So most people, whenever they acquire, a piece of land, they at least make sure that, they have planted some maize, even if it's in a small portion, but at least, it serves the home and it serves the purpose, because that is something that, people eat each and every day in their household. So yeah, guys, that was part of our farm. Now let me take you, I don't know where to take you next. Let us not start with the new house. Let me first take you around, our main house, because construction going on right now inside the house. So I want to be able to show you, the whole house. But this is my parents' house. This is where I was born, guys. This is where I was brought up, and this is where I've called home for the longest time. And just being back here, after all that while, makes me so happy, makes me so proud, guys. Just seeing this home, how it was elevated, because this isn't how it used to be. You might see it, looking nice right now, but you see, even until now, we are still working on it. It's not complete. We moved into the house, before it was even complete. I will share some photos with you guys so that you can get to see how the house was when we first moved in. So it has been a process, because my mom, she's all alone. My dad passed, a couple of years ago. So she's the one who has been taking care of the home. She's the one who has been staying here. So you just seeing her, progressing and putting effort, to get to this place that now this house looks amazing like this is such a great, achievement, and something that I'm proud of her, because this hasn't been easy, because she had to take us to school, because there's three of us, me and my two siblings. She made sure that we all finished, our universities, and she still made sure that her home looks this beautiful. And she's just, a teacher. Here in Africa, teachers don't earn that much, but her just maintaining this home to this point that it has maintained its natural, look. It has maintained, that feeling, just growing up here, living here, and just coming back, finding it, just looking like, I left yesterday, but it has been 9 years, guys. It's such an amazing feeling, such something that I'm proud of, and I just want to say, Mom, congrats so much for doing this. So let's exploring. Let me take you around, guys, so that you can see, part of the home, so that you can see what more we have to offer, guys. But I'm not sure if, you could do, the grave, but I think I'll avoid that, because some people might not be comfortable. But my dad was buried, right next there to the house, the place, surrounded by flowers. That is his grave. So that's where he has lied for the last 9 years. And that's why I was saying, seeing my mom, I think she has achieved, for the last 9 years, without, having his husband around, maintaining the look of this house, still working on it each and every day, is something that, makes me even more motivated, to just want to push myself, so that, I can support her even harder, because, she puts her all, to ensure that, this home has stood still and, is running, because being, a widow here in Africa is, something, or a position you wouldn't want to be, because it comes with so much criticism, it comes with, so much hatred and all that. But, she has stood the test of time, and yeah, this is our home. Some of these things, I even didn't leave them here, but I'm surprised, seeing the way the home has turned. Like some of the things that I didn't leave here is like the water tank, on the top there. There's some things that, I left when they were not around. I can see she installed a new water tank that, now supplies the water inside the house, and, she doesn't worry about water anymore. And, the water is actually pumped direct from the borehole. The borehole is right here. And this, borehole was dug so many years ago, when I was still a kid. And this is where the whole water, comes from. They have connected some kind of pump inside the borehole, which now, pumps the water direct to the water tank, behind the house. that I've shown you, and then it's later supplied into the house. And that's something that, my mom has always dreamt about. So just seeing her, achieve that, these are some of the luxuries that we take for granted here in Africa, just having water running inside your house and you're able to shower and everything. And, you just have to go to the toilet inside the house. You don't have to, use the bathroom from outside and all that. You have to wash utensils from the house, that is something that most homes, don't have that kind of privilege. So again, congrats, mom, because she was able to achieve this, pulling the water all the way from this borehole. And the pump that, runs this place, guys, is so costly. It's not that cheap, So that's why, most people don't even afford to install this. Most people actually, when they dig the boreholes, they just fetch water, from here. Like you open the lid, then you use like a 10-liter or a 20-liter jerrycan, you connect it with a rope, then you just pull the water from there directly. But, now having to, connect a pump that pumps the water itself all the way, to the tank behind the house is something that, is so, so, so amazing. And I think the tank is, I'm not sure how many liters it is, but I think it's big enough, to serve the purpose of the house, because there's not so many people who live in this house. It's just my mom and, a lady that helps her out with some chores in the house. And yeah, the only two of them. I think that water tank, that water tank is enough for them. And yeah, there's something else I wanted to show you guys here. Come with me, guys. For those, joining me, this is for those joining me, guys, this is Celestine Mandela, a content creator from Kenya, East of Africa, showing you live, my home here in the border of Kenya and Uganda in a town called Busia. So the water tank was built like on top of this outdoor kitchen. And, this is, where she built her outdoor kitchen and a bit of, sink over there for washing out the utensils. And she even made, this back place so nice so that whenever it rains, they doesn't have to have water. And that's, the girl that helps her out with the chores in the house. Yeah. And this is the better part of the back of the house, guys. I think you can see it clearly. And the water tank is right on top of this kitchen. Yeah, there it is. Nice, nicely installed. Actually, some of the work that is continuing on this house is the installation of this gutter. There has been, so much, rains over this place. And whenever it rains, the water splashes down and it ends up, affecting the floor, the walls of the house, as you can see. That's why, they decided to install new gutters so that, they can catch the rainwater. And yeah, the work was actually done yesterday, and that's how it looks. The installs now, whenever it rains, like it's about to rain right now, those gutters collect the rainwater, then they come all the way through the pipe and they come down over here. Yeah. At least that prevents, this kind of damage to the house, because this was being caused by, splash. Whenever rain, used to rain coming from on top there, it used to drop down here and splash on the wall, causing this kind of, things. So that's why they decided to install the gutters. That is part of the latest project that she has. So this is the back of the house, guys. As you have seen, this is the back of the house, and that's how it looks. Yeah, that's how it looks. Come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me. And this here, is our bicycle. This bicycle, used to be my dad's bicycle back in the days. And, I came back home and found it, at a bad state. I decided to take it, for some repair. I bought, new tires and bought some brakes. At least right now, it can be used, and even I do ride it sometimes, just taking a lap around our village. I do ride it most of the time. Yeah, it used to be my dad's bike, but instead of sitting there, I decided, to revamp it so that it can be used by anyone here at home. So Come with me, come with me, come with me. Guys, if you're joining us right now, this is Alestin Mandela, from Kenya, east of Africa, and I'm showing you around my home, Busia, the border of Kenya and Uganda. And yeah, this is where I'm coming from. This is where I was brought up. This is where I call home. And this video is just about, showing you around, showing you some of my childhood memories, and showing you where, the whole Alestin Mandela's journey, where it began. So let's continue with our amazing test. This flower that's planted, it's just right in front of the door. I used to hate this flower as a kid because it used to produce so much, dirt in the compound. And my job, as a kid was sweeping the compound. So every morning, waking up, the compound used to be so dirty, and we used to have a very huge tree over here, but it was uprooted. We had a huge tree right over here. You can even tell here. Yes, and it used to shed so much, leaves. So every morning when I woke up, my work was to clean the compound. So getting out, you could find so much leaves all over the compound, and you can tell that we had even another tree that was cut over here. So all the way this pathway, there's just trees, and you had to sweep. So I used to get mad, being woken up at 7, go and sweep the compound. Yeah, you see all the pathways, just trees. So, they used to be so much that even you can tell from now that, this tree right here used to produce so much that. But I am amazed that, it's still, growing, going up each and every day. And it's one of my mom's favorite flower. It's one of her favorite trees. I don't know why she chose to plant it just in front of the main entrance. But this is also another tree that I love. And the fact that, they are two, in such a way that, they are planted, in front of the house, giving that good look. You can see, giving you that good view of the house. This is such an amazing tree. It also, looks nice. I don't know how it's called. I'm not sure if it's a surprise. Not how is it called? Cypress. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a cypress tree. In the comment section, what's the name of this tree? So I can see she planted two of them, right just adjacent to each other on the compound. And there's also another amazing flower over here. And I can hear my dog barking right over here. This is where my dog stays. It's called Rex. And when it sees me, it has to bark. Rex, this is my dog right over here, guys. I don't open it, during the day because it's a bit rough, and it always causes so much chaos. So I only open it out, or I let it out, during the night. But this is its house. Then adjacent to it, we have a chicken's house. Sorry, guys. This is where the chicken, they do stay. We have a few chickens over here. I can see even one. It's here sleeping on the eggs. It will be, laying the chicken very soon. This is where the chickens stay. Yeah, so I think this is just some of the new projects that I didn't leave over here, because even when I left, the dog had just a temporary structure that didn't look like, something permanent or something that you can say was gonna last. But finally, they had to build, a stronger structure that now looks such an amazing, yeah. And that's, are part of the new projects here that are being done. There's also, kind of a water pit that is being dug here. As I told you about the gutters that are being installed right there on the roof, they're supposed, to be connected somehow into this, water storage tank that will be underground here. So that is things that, some of the projects that are going on right now. And yeah, it's nice to see that, this home, each and every day, it's growing. Each and every day, something is coming up. And yeah, that is also another project going on. And there's also, hey, Rex. There's also a repair that is being done here. they're doing some repair, because rain had damaged some better part of the walls, so they are doing some amazing repair just to make sure that, the house regains back its beauty because the rain had damaged the walls so much. That's why we decided to install, gutters, because over this part of Kenya, we do experience too much rainfall, and even right now you can tell from the sounds in the sky that it's gonna be raining any minute. But sometimes we see these rains as a blessing because most parts of the country don't receive the kind of rain that we receive here in the western parts, and that's why we are known as farmers because the weather is so conducive, it's so suitable for growing crops because we receive too much rain. So the disadvantage of too much rain is that it causes such kind of troubles that you have to to repair the house each and every time, not unless you install the gutters that can hold the rainwater. So yeah, guys, let's continue with the tour. Let me continue. So after the new house of the dog, I can hear it barking so bad. I don't know who has upset it. This used to be our outdoor toilet, growing up. This is where we used to go out before the new house was built. We had an old mud house right over here. Just, in front of this new structure, we had a mud house, and we used to stay in that house, and that's the toilet that we used to go in. That's the outdoor toilet, yeah. So, guys, this is just a tour of my home to show you how, this home has, developed in the years. How, we have come, each and every step has been a learning step. Each and every step has, growing up, we didn't have this beautiful structure. We didn't have all this, you know, things that I'm seeing going on right now. But it has always been a progress. It has always been something that has always been coming small, but showing progress each and every time. Until right now, I can tell that the house really looks beautiful, although it hasn't been painted yet. But from the plaster, you can tell that it will be such a beautiful house. And I want to go to the last part of this video, and you have all been wondering, why am I avoiding this house over here? And the reason is because this is my main house, and that is my mom right there. Okay. Now this will be the last part of the house tour. Mom didn't want to say hi on the video. She's still, a bit shy. She doesn't understand. She thinks, I'm going crazy. Why am I recording everything? But she will come to understand one time. And I understand not every people, are that confident in front of the camera. But guys, this is the last part of the house, and sorry, this is the last part of the compound, and this is my house. This is a project that I've been partaking for 3 years right now, and just seeing the efforts that I've put in, the sacrifice that I've put in, to ensure that this project reaches where it is right now. I can say that I have sacrificed a better part. This is my one bedroom, mini mansionette that I'm building here at home, because here in Kenya, as a boy, believe that as a boy you must have your own house in your father's compound, because when it reaches a certain age where you are not allowed, to stay in your parents' compound. So it's always nice, as a boy, to have your own space, to have your own, place where you can do your thing as a man without, going all around, in your mom's business or your parents' business. So you always have to have a house as a son, especially here in Africa. So I decided, since my parents weren't, that blessed enough back in the days, to build me. So when God blessed me in such a way that I could, afford to do this, I decided it was time for me, to build a house for myself. And since I didn't have a good budget while starting, I opted, to go with a one-bedroom option, and it's attached with an outside garage, because that's where I'll be parking my car. But this is how the house looks. Let me take you around before showing you the inside. It's actually It stayed like this, for almost 1 year plus since, I reached this level. Now I'm supposed to be roofing it whenever, I find enough funds, to roof it. That is my next, project that I'm having for myself. I'm supposed to roof this house because, with all this rain that is raining in this part of Kenya, it's not good because the house is built of bricks, and bricks, doesn't work well with too much rain because the house will start collapsing at some point. That's why I need, to roof it. And yeah, this project has been one of my, biggest projects, in my life because I've never built a house before. And this is my first project and, something that I'm proud of myself, guys. This is how it looks from the outside. Yeah, this is like the main house till here, and then over here we have the outdoor garage. And I built, this garage to be a bit spacious. Maybe in future I can even turn it into my personal office, into a workout area, a gym, anything that I want to do in this garage, I'll be able to do it because, it's a bit spacious. I built it to be, spacious, to accommodate any kind of thing or any, type of car inside here. So yeah, that's how it looks. That is the outdoor garage. And yeah, this is the front porch. This is the front porch of the house. The girl running over there, that's the girl that helps my mom here with work because my mom is a teacher and most of the time she doesn't spend, here at home, and she needs someone to take care of the home, make it look clean. And that's why, she employed the girl. And that's her over there, picking up, you know, the leaves that fall from the trees. I told you she likes keeping the compound clean, and you can tell, she just got home and already she's picking the things up. Yeah, she loves seeing her home so clean. So, guys, this is the front porch of the house, and the house has only one door. It doesn't have a back door. So this is the main entrance to the sitting room, and this is the front porch. Right over here, it has three pillars on front, that will be the front porch. And yeah, come inside with me. Then this will be the sitting area. I built it with an open kitchen, design. So here, this will be the kitchen. It will be an open kitchen, and this will be the living area. It's also a bit spacious, and the window here will be, quite a big window because it's like L-shaped. I built it so that the house can have, sufficient lighting. So that will be the window, and that is the entrance over there. And this is the sitting area, guys. Yeah. So over the kitchen here, we have one window, but we don't have a kitchen door like most houses. People expect to have a kitchen door, but this house isn't that big, so I didn't see the need of putting the kitchen door. I just went with the window, and this is the window, and this will be the kitchen area. But I'm thinking in future, to make just a mini door here to make me access the garage. So maybe I will install a door right over here, to make me access the garage, but this will be my kitchen area. I can this house with look once it's done. I've told it has been this way for the longest. You can see even there are crops already, growing inside because I finished it back in December 2024, and right now it's February 2026. So it really needs a roof because it can't hold on for long. It really needs a roof. So that's some of the projects that I'll be working on while I'm here at home. So right after the kitchen, you get the door to the bedroom. As I told you, this house is a one bedroom. So this is the bedroom of the house, and this will be my bedroom. And people asking, why did you decide to build, a one-bedroom house? Are you not having plans to have a family? No, by the time I was, starting this, I didn't have anyone. I was a single man, and, I'm still single, obviously, but I didn't, I just wanted to build something that was small, that wouldn't cost me too much money. And by the time I was beginning, I thought that, I will be finished, in a couple of months, but I didn't know that, building actually costs so much money. So that's why, you know, I haven't even finished the house, you know, 1.5 years later. But this will be my bedroom area, and right over here, this will be my ensuite, because, you know, the bedroom is ensuited. So this is my ensuite, guys. Bathroom and toilet for the bedroom. Yeah, so that's the simple tour of the house, and that's, you know, all that my home has to offer. And guys, you know, one of my biggest dream, one of my biggest prayer has always, you know, been for God to bless me so that, you know, I can complete this house, because I can't wait. You know, there's just that, you know, proudness of a son or of a boy in Africa when you manage, you know, to build your house somewhere you can just call home. So that has been, you know, my prayer, just praying to God each and every day, you know, to bless me, to open doors for, you know, for me to get the funds to finish roofing the house. But yeah, that is the tour of the house. It has even started raining, guys. I told you it rains so much over here. I'm gonna have to stop the video right here, but hope you have enjoyed, you know, the tour of my home. Hope you have enjoyed, you know, to come from. And guys, as I have told you guys, I'll be bringing you each and every day, you know, some amazing content, showing you, you know, how we live here in the village, showing you how we live here in Africa, and, you know, especially here in Kenya, East of Africa, and in my village in Busia, the border town of Kenya and Uganda. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this content. I really appreciate you turning in, and I'll be posting each and every day an update. As I've promised you, you know, this channel is just getting started, but I'm sure, you know, with support, I'm sure with, you know, the progress between me and you just being there for each other, you know, and supporting each other in the right way, this channel is gonna grow, and we're gonna, you know, reach a huge milestone. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. The rain has become so much. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Make sure you like this video and make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.